Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, like and subscribe helps me out a bunch. Thank you for watching as well if you've watched this far. If this is your first video, maybe jump back to part 1 so you get a grasp of the story. Anyway, just to fill you in, Bakugo, one of the leading fighters, has just been taken out. Now it's just Ida versus Deku and Uraka. So, Deku and Uraka start climbing the tower. They make sure to check every room to see whether the bomb's in there. That's when Deku starts discussing his plan with Uraka. He discusses the fact that she's going to struggle to fight within the next fight. This is because he knows Ida isn't stupid. He's going to stick by the bomb, so fighting's going to have to happen. He also knows that he's going to clear the room so Uraka cannot use her quirk. That is when Deku asks Uraka whether whether she could make him lighter, and Uraka nods yes. That makes Deku say, "Ah, great," and Uraka blushes. And then Deku says, "So the plan is you're going to make me lighter so I can beat Ida speed wise in my 2 times form. That might not work, but there is a possibility that it might. And if it does, that means if I can beat him in speed, I can hit him out of the way. That's when I want you to use your quirk on him. This is so that he can be lifted up in the air, and that means that we don't have to full on fight him. The reason I don't want to fight him is because I don't know whether he has something up his sleeve, and if he's off the ground, he cannot fight." Uraka's then, "Wow, Deku, you're smarter than you look." And then Deku's like, "Ah, thank you." But he's like blushing the entire time, so it's like, "Thank you," like in his own charming way, how he does it. So anyway, they go on with the plan. Deku goes first as a figurehead, knowing that he can take a hit from Ida if Ida decides to hit. He's basically, they've got a plan to take him out. So they finally find the bomb, and they finally find where Ida is. So what they plan to do is the plan. So Deku immediately runs in, and Ida's shocked by the speed. This is because he's using 2 times speed, uh, but he's still faster than Ida, and Ida's shocked by this because he realizes that Deku doesn't have the strain on his body like he did in the Aizawa exam. Because you got to think 10 times does put a lot of strain on Deku's body, but Deku doesn't have this strain anymore. And that's when Ida realizes that Uraka has made him faster in a weakened form. Ida only picks up on this due to his smart senses, and the only other people in the class to pick up on this, if they was watching, of course, would be Bakugo, and Todoroki does pick up on this. It goes over. It does also get noticed by Momo, but it does go over All Might's head somewhat. Like All Might recognizes he's doing it, but he doesn't see it as a strat. He just thought that Deku was well, no, All Might notices it. Just in summary, All Might notices it. But All Might only notices from his experience, and the fact that some of the students notice shows that they're prodigies, and but All Might doesn't think anyone else notices, but he does think Deku's smart for thinking up with the plan. So that's when Deku goes behind Ida and knocks him into Uraka. He makes sure to knock him somewhat off center so Uraka can move out of the way, slap Ida, and cause him to float up in the air. This demobilizes Ida enough that Uraka then can tie him up in a rope, and Uraka stops, froze up due to overuse of a quirk, and Deku collects the bomb safely. This ends the exercise, and then All Might gathers everybody up. All Might says that Deku's the MVP. This is because he came up with a strat, and he made sure to be careful around the bomb, not knocking Ida into it or not having a fight around it, and instead knocking him out of the way of the bomb and not putting his comrades in danger by knocking Ida off target, and also taking out with Bakugo as quietly as possible without causing too much exterior damage and without permanently hurting Bakugo or damaging Bakugo at all, and Deku basically gets given the Golden Star. This is when they all get told to get sent home, and Deku is told to go to the beach by All Might, and All Might is really proud of Deku. This is because he realizes that Deku, not only is he going on leaps and bounds with his quirk, he's also learning tactics and all that. And that's when he asks Deku for a duel. So you're probably wondering why and how can he do this? Well, All Might said to people, he basically pulled strings with the police officer, and they all said it was cool on the beach that he cleaned. If he promises to clean up the mess that the door leaves, no one gets hurt, they can have a duel. So he's got the go ahead from the police, and he's only going to use 10% against Deku, and this duel's gonna last only about 1 minute because that's how long 10 times works for Deku. So the duel starts, and All Might goes straight in for a Detroit Smash, but Deku dodges it using 10 times. Then with that 10 times, he goes in for a Thunder Clash. This is a new move he's created, and what he does, he uses a lightning to blind his opponent whilst punching them. The punch is normal due to the lightning being used to blind the opponent. This is the only move he can currently use within his 10 times body amplification, due to his 10 times body amplification using up so much electricity that he has, and so much of his, well, it's not quite electricity, it's inner energy, I guess you could say. Just inner energy will do. So then Deku jumps down from 10 times and jumps. Deku jumps down from 10 times and grabs his breath, whilst All Might learns to see again after the blinding punch, as in the Thunder Clash, was it? I think I went Thunder Clash, yeah. Then All Might goes in for a punch, and Deku activates 10 times, dodging it. And then Deku gets into a position in the air where he's falling down onto All Might, deactivates 10 times, and activates Electric Fist. Wait, Thunder Fist. No, Thunder Punch. There we go, Thunder Punch. This Thunder Punch makes contact, and due to the electricity in All Might, due to the electricity hitting the whole of All Might's body, it hits his weak spot, which immobilizes him and permanently reduces his time to be able to be in big form. All Might realizes this and stops the door straight away. Deku's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And All Might just simply says, "Deku, you won. But if I used 100%, you'd be absolutely beaten." That's when All Might says in his head, "I can't tell this kid that him damaging him hitting me in that spot made me, him hitting me with that last punch hit my weak spot, making me permanently weaker. That would destroy the kid's morality." Anyway, so we're flashing to the next day. Deku wakes up. Luckily, because he took care of the All Might fight quite quickly, and All Might was going quite, not rough on him. Deku came out with no injuries that wasn't clean. That wasn't a little scrape or a little bruise. So basically, he's in tip-top shape. Not tip-top, but none of his performance is affected by what is happening tomorrow. Which is now today for him because he slept and he woke up, and he's off to the USJ. This is a school trip that everybody goes on, and they all get on the bus, and everyone starts picking on Bakugo, basically having a little joke around because he decides to have an arrogant go at Deku, and then Deku realizes that the tables have turned, Anyway, when he gets on the bus, he sits next to Ida, and Ida basically says, "Wow, good tactic in beating me." And then Uraka, who sat behind him, joins in and basically compliments Deku. And Deku says, "Oh no, it was all of my teammates. I was just there to fill in the gaps, I guess." And then Uraka goes, "Nah, it was teamwork. We all worked together." Then they finally got at USJ. Due to All Might doing hero work earlier in the day, this time he's even more puffed out due to Deku damaging his weak spot, which means that he's definitely not there for the USJ. Deku picks up on this, now knowing about his knowing about Small Might, and having been trained by All Might, knowing about his time limit and all that. Deku realizes it when 13 raises up 3 fingers, and he realizes that even though he was told 3 teachers would be there, there is only 2, and that's when he puts it all together and realizes All Might is out of strength. This is when a purple cloud comes from the sky, and no, sorry, this is when 13 explains about the USJ, and a purple cloud comes out from the sky. This purple cloud then invades the sky, and then weak-looking villains start coming out. These villains look about as experienced as a normal citizen, but they look like they have quite powerful quirks, but not overpowered quirks to the point where they're undefeated. But they are certainly scary to the newish students, other than Bakugo, Todoroki, and Deku being confident. Deku being confident because he feels like he has power now. Bakugo being confident because that's his personality trait. And Todoroki not really feeling emotions at the minute. Well, visibly anyway. So, Deku gets into a fighting posture, and that's when the portal starts to appear again, but this time a little bit smaller, and a weird monstrous looking creature comes out of it, as well as a guy that looks like his body is rotting around him, with hands all over his body. The creepiness aura was unreal, but yet he never had a sense of true power, well, like a true villain would. But there was still some evil aura there, and his killing intent was high. Everybody knew that. That is also when a purple misted guy came out of the portal. He was weird, and he looked like the one who was controlling all the portals. That is when all the students have portals appear underneath them, and they all start disappearing into different biomes, being separated around the USJ. Deku wakes up underwater. He realizes that he's surrounded by villains that have water-based quirks. This is bad for Deku because Deku's quirk does not work the best underwater. Deku is then panicking, not knowing what to do, and puts on 2 times body amplification, and then goes to try and punch one of the villains until he's saved by a frog-looking girl. The frog-looking girl says, "Hey," says, "Hey, hey," and Deku immediately thanks her for saving him. He's then thrown onto the boat, and Deku starts discussing the whole situation. What he says to her is that, "I think they don't know I think they've split us up all into different groups. It looks like there's only us 2 here, and I'm gonna be honest, my quirk really doesn't match up for this." That is when Deku uses his big brain to think back about the time that someone got onto campus, and he puts it together that the villains must have put on campus, but he does not tell. The villains must have got the timetable off campus, but he does not tell anybody, because he realizes that they're now after All Might, but he doesn't want to tell anybody that because he doesn't want to scare anyone, because if someone's off after the symbol of peace, that they're gonna be scared. So Deku only just realised it now, and he's panicking himself. And that's when Suyu says, "Hey, calm down, calm down, calm down. What can we do in this situation?" This is where I'm gonna end this episode because it seems like a good place to end it. I'm sorry if this video is a bit off. I don't know. It just feels a bit off. Anyway, if you did enjoy it, weirdly or different, well, if you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a bunch. I'm trying to hit 1,100 subscribers by the end of May and 1,500 by the 2nd of July, sorry, the 2nd of July, because that is my birthday. And yes, I did just forget my own birthday. So it's just today. It's not gone very well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.